So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZW Games 5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below. What's up YouTube, Dad here from Zephyr Games, bringing you an update to my most favourite deck of this upcoming format, Crusadia. Now there's some very nice spicy text that I've added into this deck just to give you a different winning edge for coming up against the meta stuff like Orcus, Thunder Dragons, anything like that, how you break their boards, how you finish them off, and best of yet, how to look good doing it in one shot too. So this is the updated Crusadia build. Before I get started, please like the video, comment, subscribe and share. We are pushing towards that 15,000 subscriber mark. We are coming up to YCS London. And what better way to do it than showing you a rogue deck that can be made budget if you wish. And I'll show you what to take out and what to put in if you would like to do that. But without further ado, let's take you through this very fun, very spicy deck profile. So, Crusaders is all the same lineup. So I'm not going to spend too long on this. You should all know this by now. We play triple Crusadia Reclusia. We play triple Crusadia Maximus. We play triple Crusadia Arborea, triple Crusadia Draco, and double Crusadia Leonis. Now, the only time you wish you had Leonis at 3 is when you don't open up one of your many Dracos. You're playing 15 Dracos. Is it 15? 14 Dracos, sorry. And if you don't see one of those in your opening hand, it can be a pain. Technically 15 if you include the Rhoda as well. But you've got more than enough here. If you want to bump it up a little bit and go to a 41 card deck, by all means put in the third Leonis. But for now, this is all you need. We then main deck double Nibiru because nothing hurts more than getting Nibiru during game 1. And then you've got to play it smart going into game 2. 9 out of 10, most people or the better level players will start to play around Nibiru. They'll be able to build their boards without going to a 5th summon or get a negate within their first 5. So sometimes if you want to play mind games, you could actually take Nibiru out and go for a structured going first. That is something else that they'll also make you do now that we do not have the Guard Dragon combo. Going first, we have taken a knockback, but we do actually have many more defensive plays that we can use. Look into stuff like there can only be 1 and a couple of other floodgates if you wish. Building up your Crusaders can be very easy and very powerful. And the deck itself has a searchable blocker to Nibiru. Moving on to the Kaijus, we do play the 1 Raiden, the multi-dimensional Kaiju, 1 Combosyu, the Sticky String Kaiju, 1 Gameciel, the Sea Turtle Kaiju, and 1 Jizukuru, the Star Destroying Kaiju. This is your most important. Being able to drop this on your opponent with a Super Poly in hand, oh, there's no better feeling. This is why I play Raiden, it's purely because if my opponent goes, I'm going to play around Super Poly, I'm only going to put 1 Dark on the board. But I'm going to fill my board with other stuff. I'm going to go, okay, cool. Kaiju, you're one that isn't a dark. Super Poly, both your monsters. What you going to do now, bro? So yeah, Raiden is very important. So is, of course, Jizukuru. You put this in a zone that Ecomax points to, and that is pretty much your game winner right there. We've then got Double Phantasme. This is the first and only card in this deck that is going to break your bank. So, if you do not want to break your bank, but you still want to be able to cause a lot of issues at your locals with stuff like Crusaders, you can easily bump up your Leonis and straight away bump up your Nibiru if you wish. You can bump up your Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, you can put in Ash Blossoms, you can put in Veilers, you can put in anything that will break your opponent's board. That is what we want to aim for when we're going with this deck, because it doesn't matter if you win or lose a dice roll. 9 times out of 10, you'll be going second. Then they'll try and play around it thinking you're playing Mech Knights. The other thing you can main deck is Twin Twisters, because the one thing that really hurts this deck is back row. You have a couple of cards that allow you to play through back row, but you don't want to be burning all your resources as you go. So 9 out of 10, your side deck will be taking out certain cards like your Kaijus because you feel you're going to be going first, putting in stuff like Twin Twisters, maybe even some hand traps, red reboots, and evenly matches as well. That's it for the monster lineup. Moving on to the spell lineup, triple Call by the Grave. You have the ability to pretty much chain block, but what you don't want to happen is you do not want to be getting Veiled on your Magius or stuff like that, because you do need to extend a little bit further. especially being able to play around Nibiru, you need to make sure that your Leonis goes off, or your extra deck Leonis goes off, in order to complete the requirements to protect your Link monster from a Nibiru. So triple Quadruple Grave is very, very important. I'm going to move the spice to last. So we've got triple super pomerization. This is the best board breaking card in my honest opinion. So good, so powerful. Discard, opponent can't react. And the best thing is, 9 times out of 10, your opponent saves up their negates for your Magius. So what you do is you go normal summon a monster, go into Magius, chain super or activate Super Poly. Super Poly gets rid of the disruptive cards on the board, and then your Magius will then chain and go off because it will then be able to search a card if you want it to. Now, of course, you can try and chain block it if you wish, if you're worrying about those hand traps. But if you're being able to Super Poly, break your opponent's board at the exact same time and get a search off, what's not to love? We've then got triple instant fusion. This card is great going both first and second. Again, this is a special summon that can go into a zone Magius points to, that can either steal a card or try and deter your opponent from activating any monster effects, because your Millennium Eyes will just go, okay, absorb and negate. So that is very, very important, very, very powerful card that it serves you both going first and second. Now onto the Spice. The Spice is a brand new card that came out in Chaos Impact, and I am main decking triple action magic full turn. Now the reason I am maining this is because if you can't get into your Maximus, or you actually use your Maximus as part of the Link Climb process, this can actually be very, very useful. It's also a very nice deterrent against Nibiru, because if you get Nibiru, you are going to be blocking and protecting your Link monster. Sometimes by doing so, you have to add an additional extension from your hand, or turn the monster, the Nibiru token, into a Link monster in order to climb up into Equamax. Now, when you do so, Equamax is a 2k base. If you then want to use an additional monster from your hand to make him higher than 2k, this then turns into your new Maximus. And that is very, very useful in order to kind of rush your opponent down and still finish the game off, even if your opponent has stopped you. Another alternative, if you do not want to be playing the full turn, is you can play Action Magic double banking. Now, the reason double banking is so good is you discard one card this turn, any monster you currently control destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it can make a second attack in a row. Now, as long as this pretty much does the same effect that the field spell is, which is why it is not mained over this. However, what this is very, very good at is it allows you to have a second attack. So what I've found throughout my testing is, yes, consistently you can get the OTK if your opponent has nothing to stop you. If they do stop you or slow you down, sometimes you lose the OTK potential, and by that point you've used up most of your resources trying to build this breakable board, or break your opponent's board and finish them off in one shot. This is where your full turn comes in and your double banking comes in, because it will be able to rejuvenate your Link monster to give it that extra step to finish off your opponent. Yes, of course, if Equamax attacks the card that is pointing to on your opponent's side of the field, it will lose attack. But if it has the ability to attack again as a quick play, or do double damage as a quick play, you actually have the ability to keep on going. If you wanted to combo the pair of them off, even worse, because none of these stop you from attacking directly, it just allows you to, this will do double damage involving two monsters. So if you do double damage involving the two monsters, and then drop your action magic, if you haven't been able to get game on this, drop this to attack again, you're going to be doing damage straight to your opponent's face, which will pretty much win you games. So this is just a little bit of a spicy addition that is going to give you a bit more consistency in order to fulfill the purpose of Crusadias, which is OTKing your opponent. We then play Double Desires. This card, of course, is there to extend your board or extend your hand size and then go in for the kill. So if you don't open up what you need, or you're just feeling a little bit greedy and you want to try and bait out an Ash, or you've already baited out an Ash, you can drop this on your opponent plus an additional card, and then hopefully that's enough to win you the game. Then onto the Crusadia spells that we play. One of is the one Crusadia Revival and the one Crusadia Power. Power is your most important card right now, especially going game 2, when you know your opponent has sided in Nibiru 9 times out of 10. Now the important thing with this is you want to be searching this off your Regulux, because by searching this off, if your opponent decides to Nibiru you now, you're then going to drop this to protect your Link 2. If they decide to wait and then try and Nibiru you when you're in your Equamax, you're just going to use Power to protect Equamax. There's no real need to overextend, it just gives you that nice searchable protection. Game 1, if you're not worrying about Nibiru and you don't think they're maining it, you go straight for the revival to clear off your opponent's board and probably win the game. Now, I really like the other spell card that we had, which allows you to draw up to your link weightings, or means your opponent can't respond to your Crusadia effects, but it's a little bit slow. You've got enough to be able to do that and play around that as it already is, so you don't need to worry about it too much, which is why we go with these two here. And then for the last one of spells, play the one Rhoda for your Arborea, the one Monster Reborn to bring back any of your monsters to help you link climb and start the combo off again, and the one Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, because nuking your opponent's board, if that's not enough, you then get to give yourself a big fat Kaiju, give your opponent a big fat Kaiju in front of a link zone that you will be pointing to with your Ecomax, and then on top of that, if it does survive another turn, you banish the Slumber, and then it also lets you go, cool, Kaiju that. So that is where your Super Poly combo can go in, and on top of that, it does then bait out any kind of negations, because the last thing your opponent wants to do is lose their entire board. And even if you nuke your own board, it still allows to give them a Kaiju as well. So that is it for the main deck. Now onto the extra deck spice. Now the extra deck again is quite straightforward, apart from a couple of cards. So we do play the 1 Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax, your 1 and 2 Crusadia Ecomax. This is your basic boss monster. This is what is going to win you games, ladies and gentlemen. Ecomax is an absolute beast, and that is what wins you games. We've then got double Relux. This, of course, is again very important. Like I said, this is what can search you out your protection against Nibiru as well. And then your double Magius gets everything going. We've then got, moving on, the 1 Nightmare Phoenix, because sometimes Floodgates can be an issue, and Phoenix is one of the best monsters to deal with that and get rid of it. We do have the 1 Link Spider, so this is if you do get Nibiru, you can turn the token straight into an effect monster, and that allows you to then get an additional search off of your Relux if you haven't done it already. Otherwise, it just allows you to turn it into a Link monster to then go into Ecomax rather than being stopped there and then. The first bit of spice in the extra deck coming out of Chaos Impact is this boss monster, Unchained Abomination. Now the reason this is so good is it is a Link 4, but it requires 2 monsters including a Link monster. So you just go straight away with your Ecomax, and 1 monster, if it's not going to do your job, go into this. If a card or cards on the field is destroyed by a card effect, except Unchained Abomination, and except during the damage step, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. When another monster is destroyed by battle, target 1 card on the field, destroy it. During the end phase, target 1 card on the field, destroy it. So, if you were to go into your Ecomax, do a lot of damage, but not be able to clear off your opponent's board, you just go into the Unchained Abomination in your main phase 2. End phase, it will pop 1 card. So if they've got 1 card still floating around that you haven't been able to get rid of, you go into Abomination. The best thing about Abomination as well is if you Nibiru them and you can't get rid of the token, Abomination is an easy card that just goes, okay, pop it. And it gets rid of it. That is where you can also, if you're worried about the Nibiru token, you can't get rid of it, is you go into Phoenix. Instead of Phoenix, you go into Cerberus as well. Moving on to the fusions, we've got the 2 instant fusion targets of Thousand Eyes and Millennium Eyes. And then we have the 3 super poly targets of Predaplant, Dracus Depelio, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, and Mud Dragon Swamp. So, this is for people that try to put a Titan and a Colossus on the board thinking they're getting around Super Poly. No. This is for people that play Pendulums thinking that if they don't leave 2 Darks on the board, they're getting around Super Poly. No. If you go into Vortex Dragon, I know you're going to be doing it less and less the shortcut way, but if you do it, I'm going to Super Poly you. This is if they do go, I'm not worried about Super Poly, he's not going to main deck Super Poly, I'm going to go Starving Venom, get a nice big beater on board. And then, if they think they're really clever and it's like, I don't need to worry about Super Poly, I don't play double Darks, I don't play double anything, you go, but you play cards with the same attribute, but different types. Subterrors, I'm going to Mud Dragon you. Now, Mud Dragon is one of the cards that you could go and get rid of, but I really like it. It's actually won me a couple of games as well, because if you do have a Super Poly and you can't finish off game with your normal plays, you could actually Super Poly your Maximus with your Ecomax, go into the Mud Dragon just to finish the game off. So, that is it for the extra deck. A couple of spicy touches in that one, but the main spice is within the main deck. Now, I love this deck. It is a hell of a lot of fun. Very powerful, and I just love being able to, like, one of my pet hates playing Yu-Gi-Oh is if I main deck hand traps and I don't open any and my opponent just goes off and then my next top deck is a hand trap that would have stopped all that happening. I hate that. I'm like, Why? What use are you? So what I do like to do, and this is why Crusadia are the best at doing it, is I do like to go, if my opponent goes, any response? And I go, no, and then they have a massive smile on their face. They're like, yes, I'm going to go off and build the biggest board ever. And they do it, and they think they've already won. I just love going, Kaiju, Super Poly, and then their face goes from, I've just won, to, I've just lost. And that is one of the best feelings ever. But that's why I love Crusadias. Crusadias are very, very good. They are very, very balanced as well. As they can OTK, but they can brick, or they can just be very, very slow. And it's just nice to have a deck like this that I thoroughly enjoy. The artwork is stunning. The new rarities that we receive for some of these cards, especially the prismatic, look at it on the camera, is beautiful. And just being able to use and abuse an extra deck like this in the upcoming Link format is probably my personal favourite deck that revolves around Link summoning, or the Link mechanic. I know you have, like, Orcus are very, very close, and that is part of the World Legacy. So is, of course, the World Chalice deck. And then you also have stuff like, now the Hakai or the Unchained. And you also have stuff like Marincess, Salamangreats. This is my personal favourite. I just love the ability to Link climb, and each of them then searches out the next piece or continues the story of the World Legacy as well. But for now, I hope you like this. I hope it's giving you a couple of little tech ideas coming up to YCS London, and I hope that any of you that do take this to London do very, very well. And best of luck to everyone else that goes to YCS London as well. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, guys, happy dueling. What's up, YouTube? Dad here from YUGIOH. Thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, please hit that big thumbs up button in the bottom corner as well. And don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. Make sure you click that notification bell as well so you know every time one of our new videos goes up. Throughout the whole year of 2019, we're going to have more deck profiles, duels, and of course pack openings for you guys to watch and enjoy the entire year round. So stay tuned for more, and as always, guys, happy dueling.